these were the maximum temperatures that we saw yesterday in Western Australia, 46 to 47 across the Pilbara, but Shark Bay climbed to 49 degrees. In fact, unrounded, it was a top of 49.2 degrees, and that's only 1.5 degrees off Australia's all-time record of 50.7 from Onslow in 2022 and Oodnadatta in 1960. That 49.2 at Shark Bay is the hottest temperature anywhere in Australia for 12 months. Now, it's only just gone after 1 p.m. WA time, so the maximum temperatures for many areas haven't been reached just yet today. Although Carnarvon's already climbed to 48 degrees, that is an all-time January record for that town with data back to 1945, although a sea breeze has hit Carnarvon, so that's probably going to be their maximum for today. But you can see other parts of WA, even in the very early part of the afternoon, already into the mid-40s.
And so when will temperatures and the fire danger peak across WA?
So for the northwest corner of WA, we're sort of seeing that peak at the moment in the middle part of the week, and that's due to these very dry, hot easterly winds, so offshore winds from the northern interior. As we move into Thursday, the winds will tend more northerly, and that will actually lead to slightly cooler temperatures perhaps along the west coast, still very hot just inland from the northwest coast, but warmer temperatures tomorrow for the southern part of WA, easily climbing above 40 degrees. Away from the coast. The fire dangers, well, they're predicted to be extreme today along much of the west coast and the adjacent inland, which means fast-moving fires, difficult to control. Tomorrow, those extreme fire dangers will shift further south, more towards the southern part of WA. What will follow then is a cooler southwesterly airstream. So there it is, you can see on Thursday night, Friday morning, pushing up through most populated parts of the state. So by the time we get to Friday afternoon, the hottest air is sitting across the eastern inland of WA, Joe.
Yeah, and so what's going to happen with that pool of hot air over the next several days?
Well, as we know, most weather systems move from west to east, and that means it will be tracking towards the southeast states. So here it is. You can see the very hot air, the darker reds and the purples over WA, and that northwesterly will carry that hot air over the next few days over southeast Australia. So another heat wave is on the forecast. Now, the heat wave, it's currently low intensity, but the 3 days from Saturday to Monday, a severe heat wave will impact most of southern Australia. And then we'll see temperatures pretty close to what we saw during that heat wave 2 weeks ago. So for inland areas, we're hitting the mid-40s. It is an extreme heat wave, the red, which is the highest category for some areas. For coastal areas, though, of eastern Australia, it's generally a low-intensity heat wave. And that's because we'll have 1 or 2 hot days, then a cool change, and then perhaps another 1 or 2 hot days to follow. So let's just have a look at an example of some of the heat that's coming. Saturday afternoon, mid-40s through the inland parts of South Australia, climbing up close to 40 to the Victorian coastline. By Sunday, you've got a cooler southerly change, so dropping temperatures along that southern coastline, but temperatures in the mid-40s continuing through much of the southern inland. And at this stage, Joe, those temperatures across the inland in the mid-40s could linger all the way until around Wednesday or Thursday next week.
And any idea what's happening with the wind associated with that pool of hot air? Because, of course, the fire danger in relation to that increases dramatically if there are strong winds as well.
Yeah, it's a critical question. So the strongest winds will be arriving for South Australia and Victoria on Saturday and again on Tuesday. So it's those 2 days when we'll probably have fire weather warnings and extreme fire danger. At this stage, none of the days look particularly windy for New South Wales, although considering the heat and the dry air, we'll certainly have high fire dangers, perhaps not extreme.